Yes, guys, Marty from AFTV. Please hit the subscribe button. I am here with Kenyah, the legend herself, after watching Arsenal beat Port Vale in the League Cup 2-0 at Vale Park. Kenyah, you were watching it with us on the watch-along. Run me through how you saw this game, because there's a lot of mixed opinions. One, the result was good, but listen, some people are saying the performance wasn't that great. So, talk to me.
It's not something to go home and watch the highlights about. Let's put it that way. It wasn't our best game, but I think it also just showed that even maybe not, we were just really in first gear. We didn't have to really get out of first gear either. Like, it was nice to see a lot of changes. We made 9 or 10 changes, which is great. We saw some players that haven't really been fit or haven't really featured that much, like Marzo Skelly, Christian Norgard, who I think both were really good. It's not something to go back and be like, it was great.
I just watched Arsenal beat Port Vale 2-0. What a game!
It wasn't one of them ones where, I'm going to go home and watch it on the highlights or match of the day or anything. But we got the job done. I can't really complain.
Got the job done. Eze gets on the score sheet. First Arsenal goal. Great to see after 6 minutes. And then after a period of time, Arsenal sort of took their foot off the gas or let Port Vale get back into the game. Very different second half from the first half, because I was watching the game at one point and I thought, listen, this is going to end up being 5 or 6. That was the way it started after that Eze. And obviously Eze had another chance, which, could have gone in the back of the net. I think if that does, it changes the game. That period in the game where it sort of, the pendulum swings, as it were, slightly. What do you think that's due to?
If I'm being honest, I think we just really took our foot off the gas. And what I would say is that we've done that in so many games before, to be honest. I'm not really surprised. I don't want to call it the handbrake, but the handbrake was a bit halfway up. Do you know what I mean? I think maybe the players might have thought, is there any point in over-exerting ourselves when we've got such a big game on the weekend against Newcastle, who won 4-1 tonight as well? Obviously, it's a very long trip, but it was I'm not going to lie, it was a bit disappointing that we didn't just go for it. I think this is a great game as well for those fringe players. I don't even like using that term, but those players that aren't in the main squad to really impress and show us, actually, I'm going to give, someone like Ben White, I'm going to give Mikel Arteta to think about as to why I should start over Timber, or someone like Miles, who had a fantastic season last season, who's not really featured. It would be nice to see, I'm gonna really push Calafiori for his place, or someone like Norgard, for example. So it was a bit disappointing that we did put I don't want to say that handbrake up, but we obviously just took our foot off the gas. We just looked very relaxed, and I even think, to be honest, although Port Vale at one point really grew into the game, they didn't offer anything in front of goal. In fact, we tried to give them 2 chances, in the fact that I don't know what Kepa was doing. He just switched off for a second, and same with Mascara. I was saying to my dad that if you watch that Chelsea game, that's how Lincoln City scored their first goal, by literally a centre-back just crossing it straight over to one of their players, and he just buried it. So we had our maybe warning moments, but even then, in front of goal, I mean, them in front of goal wasn't really any different to when we kind of played Bilbao, in the sense that Bilbao played really well. They're very physical, but they just got in front of goal, didn't really show much. And I just think, you know what, they are a League One side, and it kind of makes sense. But I think they did put in a good account of themselves. But it was mostly because we just were very relaxed, took our foot off the gas. And I'm not annoyed at that, as long as on Sunday we don't do that.
Yeah. So an epic clash between your dad and your uncle. On the watch-along, you were there. Talk to me about that. Is this a regular thing over Sunday dinner in the Lyle household?
Guys, this is normal behaviour. That was probably one of their most tamest disagreements. I even call it an argument.
Oh, wow.
This is just how they are. If you guys were to come over to, my nan's house for Sunday dinner, do you know what I mean? This is just a normal conversation. And then imagine I've got 4 uncles. So imagine there's 4 of them all together. Imagine I got my dad, my 3 other uncles. I got my granddad in there. Imagine it's just a normal day in the Lyle family, fam. It's normal behaviour.
Love
that. So for me, you guys are there oh my God. I'm like,
I wasn't. I was loving it. It was brilliant.
That was a normal chat between Uncle Laurie and my dad.
So Newcastle on Sunday.
Yes.
Big game. Going up to Newcastle. Come on, talk to me about this. How big is this for Arsenal?
It's very big, and to me, you must. I know people are talking about, they beat us this many times. I don't care. You must. You didn't beat Man City. You must go and beat Newcastle now. That is the expectations. And I just feel like look, they're a very hard team. They're a very organised team. We saw tonight they won 4-1. You're seeing players like Joe Linton's getting 2. Anthony Gordon's back. They've got their new striker in Voltmada. So they're a new team, but they probably haven't started this season how they would have wanted to. They've only won once. They've actually struggled to score goals, which is quite strange to say for Newcastle, considering how well they were last season. Obviously, we just played in a competition that they won last season, beating the champions, Liverpool. But look, go to Newcastle, you absolutely must. I don't want to hear excuses. We saw today as well in that Carabao Cup game the strength and depth that we've got. I don't know if Newcastle can say the same to that. If you ain't got Saliba, you play Mascara. You ain't got Mascara, you play Calafiori. You ain't got this guy, you play that guy. Do you know what I mean? I just think, and as well today, we saw, some players that, like Martinelli, who probably warranted a start. I mean, there's a lot of things to consider in that game, but all I know is they must.
Well, look, you've been an absolute legend. Thank you very much. As always, please check out the watch along and that fierce clash between the Lyle brothers that we're talking about. Please subscribe to the channel. It costs you nothing. Just hit that button. We want to get these subscribers up to 2 million. And please check out all the other fan cams and AFTV's content. Marty from AFTV signing out.